back out in the garage working on the Riviera. The next thing we're going to tackle is the pinion seal. It's underneath the car, so all this work's going to have to be done under the car, but we're going to move there now. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take off the differential cover, and that's done simply by taking off all these bolts that go around. There's differential fluid in here, so I've got my catch can here to catch it, and how I do it is I usually start by loosening at the bottom first. Because usually what will happen is once you get this loose enough, then the fluid will start to drain out. And you want to be careful when you're doing this. If it seems like a bolt is on there too tight and it doesn't want to come off, you might want to kind of stop and rethink. Because again, these bolts have been in there, I don't know, these have been out before because there's silicone here where somebody has changed the fluid in the past. But you know, these aren't really big bolts, so if they get rusted in there, pretty easy to break off. What I plan to do is when I put them back in, I'll put just a little bit of, well, I'll spray the thread holes first with lubricating oil, and then I put a little bit of anti-seize on the threads of the bolts, and then that way I know when I go to take them out in the future, they won't break off on me. Because if they break off, it's a bummer. It's not the end of the world, you know, but it's a lot more work, because what you got to do is drill and tap out the bolt. It just adds a lot of extra work. So I'm gonna have to come around over there because I can't see anymore. Now, you know, an air wrench would be the way to go. I'm eventually going to get some air tools. It just makes it a lot quicker. And, you know, although I like the exercise of this, as I'm getting older, I'm thinking, you know, kind of, I get enough exercise doing martial arts, and then just getting up and down from underneath this car is enough work for me. But that's a little future investment. Right now I get by with hand tools, and there's a little bit of maybe foolish pride in doing things all by hand. But the nice thing about doing things by hand is you always know how much pressure you're putting on something or not putting on a bolt. So this isn't leaking, so it had a good seal on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wind up taking out most of these bolts. I'll leave some in the top, and then I'll just crack the back of the seal by putting a screwdriver in here. But whoever did this the last time did get a good seal on that gasket, so it's not leaking here, it's leaking up there. I don't know if you can see that, how wet that is up here. That's where the problem is, up there. But we're going to drain the fluid out of this before we start to work on that up there. Can they see that wet seal there, son?
Sort of, but not really.
We'll see it when we go around to the front. Guy wasn't cheap with silicone, or gal. Wow. Like I said, this is great exercise. It's you know, it's a good arm burn as you're holding your hands up above your head like this and turning the wrench and uh-oh, some kid in the neighborhood's getting in trouble or crying for some reason. All right, now I'm going to have the cameraman, my son, get me a screwdriver so I can break the seal on this. I mean, it's sealed up good. I may even have to get a hammer and tap that in there. It looks like it's coming. Okay. Now, let's see how that fluid's gonna come out of there. There we go. Wow, there wasn't a lot in there actually. Probably because it was leaking. So, and it looks kind of dark, so it looks like it needed to be changed. So we're gonna not only change that seal up there, but we're also gonna change the fluid, and it was a good time to do that. And we'll have a new gasket on the back of here. We'll get this rear end all tuned up. Now I'm just going to take the last of these bolts out up on top, and then I'll take that pan and take it off. I'm going to take this off, so are you ready to watch?
Yeah.
Last of the fluid's going to come out of there. And I just got to break that seal all the way around. Seal is broken. And then I should be able to just kind of wiggle this out of here. And there we go. Okay, so one thing I noticed when I was over, this was dripping, so I took it over to my utility tub to clean it up, and I noticed right away that this was actually dry up here at the top of this cover to the point where this was getting a little bit of surface rust, which is no problem. This is a big thick thing here, but the point is that it was dry, what I call dry, which means that the car has been sitting for quite a long time, because had it been driven much, then that fluid would have been, thrown up on the back of this cover, and the whole cover would be coated with oil. So kind of two things going on here, because I did drive it a little bit when I first got it, but the fluid was really low. You could tell the level was down here due to the leaking seal, and it probably likely should be more up here. So even though I drove it that little bit, there really wasn't enough in it to kind of throw it up on the back of this cover. So it's all good, there's no problem here. It's just that it tells a little bit of a story that I thought I would share with y'all. Doing it all old school here. Old school here. Showing y'all you can restore a car in your garage with just some hand tools. You don't need a ton of stuff.